strokes by a clueless man. Misunderstood, misquoted, and left in the dark.
Thank you so much for tuning into Horrible People podcast. I'm Jen McDonald, and the horrible person that we're speaking with today is Julie Van Ansem. Julie, would you mind telling us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and where you work?
Yes. So I am from the Netherlands. I do move 10 years ago. I moved here to the US. We live now in Wisconsin. My husband, he's a third generation mink farmer, and he decided to live and work on his dad's and uncle's farm here in the US. So that's why we moved here 10 years ago. I am 33 years old, and so I'm basically from the Netherlands. I worked as a dental assistant.
Cool.
And then my husband brought me into mink farming and his family.
Amazing. Okay. And the farm itself, is that called Unicorn Magnificent Mink, or is it Ansem Farm?
Yes, so we are the Van Ansem group. We have our own label that's called Unicorn Magnificent Mink.
Amazing.
So under the auction house, we sell our skins under the name Unicorn. So it's well known by designers worldwide, mainly in Greece, New York, and China, South Korea. But the main part is basically the Van Ansem Group, and we own several mink farms around the world.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And could you give us a little bit of a back history about Unicorn Magnificent Mink and the Ansem Group?
Yeah. My husband's grandpa, he started in 1964 in the Netherlands with a small mink farm. Then he expanded to Poland, to Latvia, Romania, here in the US, and we recently opened up a mink farm in Greece and in Spain.
Okay. Wow. So you guys are really
Yes.
worldwide.
Yes, all our family members are spread over the world. My husband's uncle lives in Poland. My husband's brother lives in Latvia, and we have good managers on the other places. And then me and my family, we live here in the US.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, of course, with fur farming, there are, I don't want to call them animal rights groups because I find a lot of animal rights groups don't necessarily fight for what's right for the animal. They just kind of fight off of inaccurate rhetoric. But could you touch on a little bit about how fur farming is in fact a humane practice, how it is ethical? I assume there are regulations you guys have to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. We have a lot of regulations. It's not easy, and they come up with new things all the time.
Oh.
But we work with them and we follow their protocols. There's actually a welfare assignment protocol, which is a book that has over 200 pages. That goes about the health of the animal, about the housing, about the feed. So we follow those protocols. I do think fur farming is a good thing. It started up many, many years ago, in the way back. Yeah, we take very good care of our animals. We want the best quality of furs for the designers that we work with. So I think we really take good care of our animals, and until they die, we take good care of them.
Amazing. What age are they generally harvested at? I mean, I'm not really sure what a mink's average lifespan is anyways, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Let's say that. We select them in November, but the babies are born in May. It's coming up
Okay.
soon. They are all pregnant right now.
Oh my goodness.
But we select them on how their quality of fur is. but so some of them live only 7 months, but they're also, if they are in a high quality, then they are alive for, when they're 2 years old or even three
Okay.
years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're not all skinned when they're 7 months old.
Fair enough. Okay, so it really depends on the quality of the fur and the animal
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
Okay.
They
And
got selected in a and then it goes in groups.
okay. And I guess nutrition would play a huge factor in keeping them healthy, right?
Yes, we have a so we all work with the
Oh,
local
okay.
veterinary. He comes to our farm and check them and give us advice and everything. But they are fed a well balanced diet, and every season of the year is a little different. Sometimes they need more protein or they need more fat in the winter. We make our own feed ourselves, so we have everything in our own hands.
Oh, wow.
And the animals, the mink farms keep millions of pounds of animals byproducts out of landfills every year. So we're recycling millions of pounds of leftovers, parts of chicken, pigs, fish, and other animal proteins that humans don't eat.
Wow.
So they are very get a nutritious feed diet.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
super beneficial. It really makes sure that the animals that we're consuming are getting used to the maximum.
Yes. So we basically recycle the leftovers for feed and that way it doesn't end up in landfills either.
That's it. Absolutely. And I guess that brings me to one of my other questions was how fur really seems to be more environmentally friendly than the synthetic furs, right?
Yes, there have been a lot of studies, especially about the synthetics furs. They are not biodegradable, which
Okay.
real fur is. And fur is a natural product that goes from generation to generation. So it's really biodegradable and recyclable too.
Yeah, I guess it's not something you would purchase and then just throw away. It lasts so long that you can pass it
Yes.
down from,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, generation to generation. That makes total sense. You
Mm-hmm.
guys are at a show right now, right? Where is that show?
Yes. So my family, we are participating in the Castorian Fur Fair. It's their 50 years of anniversary. This is in Castoria, which is in Greece.
Oh, wow.
It's a very neat town, kind of north of Greece. And basically, everybody in that town, not sure how many people, but everybody in that town has a relationship into fur. They either are mink farmers or they produce garments, which mainly they produce garments and they are designers. So they have a big
Okay.
fair going on there now for 3 days.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's exciting. I was seeing all the pictures and everything on Instagram, and it looks like a big, beautiful show. It looks very elegant, very
Yes.
nice.
Yes, I'm not sure how many attendants they have yet, but it's one of the biggest in years.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes.
And is this more of a business to business show or is it open to the public?
It's open to the public. A lot of stores from Russia, Asia, even here out of the US, Europe, they come there and see the collections of the designers and then they buy in for their store.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And
Understood.
so auction houses are there too. And also we are there, we are the only booth that advertise the or mink farming skins.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, what would be, do you know what the most popular type of skin would be? Like, I kind of assumed it would be mink, but maybe not.
Mink is I think most popular, and
Okay.
then you go into fox or
Oh.
sable or chinchilla fur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was looking on your website. There's a variety of colors. So are these different breeds of mink, or is it just different colors being bred to produce those specific color categories?
Yes, so they are all mink, and they all yeah, that's a good question to explain. They're all different breeds. Yes, they all have different genetics. So you have the black, mahogany, brown, sapphire, silver blue,
Wow.
marble, cross mink, violets, palomino, pearl. Those are more the pastel colors.
Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of different kinds.
Yes, there are a lot of different kinds.
That's crazy. Okay. Which ones do you guys find are most popular? Is there a more popular one on the market?
Yeah, the pastel colors are pretty popular right now, the palomino and the pastel.
I can see that.
They get dyed easily, which what designers
Oh,
like because they use a lot of fancy colors lately. But one of our most popular one is the marble. As far as we know, we are the only one that produces them, and we actually only have them on the mink farm here in the U.S. Many years ago, my husband found one on the farm in a cage, and then they thought we have something really special. So we started
yeah.
breeding with them, and then we had like 50, and then the next year we had 100, and then we had more and more. So now they really can make a garment if we have big quantities of them.
Yeah, no kidding. How
Mhm.
many mink would be on the farm approximately?
All our locations are a little different.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I
All
guess that makes
are
sense.
in the different countries, we have a different number of mink.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
overall, the Van Ansem Group produce 1 million fresh skins a year.
Wow, okay.
Hmm.
And are they harvested on the farm or are they sent away to be harvested and then the skins produced elsewhere or processed elsewhere?
So their harvest, they are for example, we they get killed on the farm, so they get put in a box and it goes into it runs onto an engine. So when they breed 1 or 2 times, they are out of whack. I don't know how to say that. And then they die basically. And
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And the fur itself, is that like processed like this? I guess it would be tanning. Is that the same thing as it would be for like a deer here? Is the fur tanned on the
Kind
farm?
of. So we here also on the farm we take the skin off,
Okay.
and then the rest of the body goes into rendering. It gets sent out, and then the mink oil get used into cosmetics, and then the skin we send all to a processing plant in Europe.
Wow.
And then they get scraped off the fat, and then they dry them, and then we send them to the auction house and they sell it for us.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't even think of the mink oil. Yeah, I guess it's so much more than just the fur that would be used from this animal, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Everything is getting reused.
Love it. Okay, that's perfect. And so what kind of regulations do you guys necessarily have to follow? I bet it's changing so often. I know I work in the firearms industry and that's constantly changing because of outside scrutiny, political pushes, all of that kind of stuff. So, what are
Mhm.
some basic regulations that you guys have to follow?
Um, a lot of things. Basically, it's from recycling cardboard into wastewater recycle. The manure we sell to local farmers that
Oh,
use them for their land to grow crops and other things.
okay.
And the other regulations for the mink, it's basically this welfare assignment, which they come and check 3 times a year if we follow the rules, and they look at the animals,
Wow.
everything like that. Um, yeah. That's it. That's basically it. But the animals get uh feed every day. They have continually able to drink fresh water from the line. They get new bedding regularly to keep them clean and to make their own little bed. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess it's just like any other farm. You'd want to keep them as clean and healthy as possible because this is your livelihood.
Yes. Yes. We take very good care of them. We have a lot of workers that walk behind the cages every day to see with their own eye how they're doing. And if they need extra help or anything, then we do that by hand. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
And what kind of facility would they live in? Is it sort of like row cages with like
Yeah,
shadings or?
they are in a big shed, and they
Okay.
are that's hard to explain.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sorry.
So they all basically they are next to each other but divided in cages, and they have their own little box where they can sleep in and
Oh,
make their
okay.
nest. And they when they give birth, the babies are born in there too. So right now the females are only there's only female one in a cage before they give birth. So they
Okay.
are not with a bunch of them in one cage.
And I guess fur farming, like you were mentioning, you guys have employees and everything. That would be a huge part of the economy, right? It's creating jobs, it's generating income, it's generating like funds back into the country, right? So,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, we
So,
have a lot of employees working for us worldwide. Um, which I also like to talk about, that we give back to our local communities. We donate back to the local schools or other sport
oh,
events that
cool.
they have going on. Also, our workers, we provide here in the US location, we provide them with clothes and housing as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Would a lot of it be in so would a lot of it be international workers then or local workers?
local but also international workers.
Oh, okay. So a mixture.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Now, going to the animal rights groups, do you guys ever receive any sort of backlash from people that might not fully understand what fur farming is and what kind of care and regulations actually go into this?
Yeah, we got sometimes not so nice emails from these people. Here, I think in the Midwest, especially in Wisconsin, there are a lot of deer hunters around here and other animal hunters, so they respect us. So that's good, but we try to stay away from them as far as possible. We do know some people that are got attacked
Oh,
by getting mink release, and these I'm very happy about what's going on right now, because a lot most all of the mink farmers have camera security on their farm. So people that attacked a while ago on another farm, not in this state, they got caught and they are in
good.
jail right now. So they
At
they
least
are
they got
not
the
on a good path.
repercussion. Yeah.
Yes, yes, they are not on a good path. It's still all in a process, but they are getting punished for what they did, because
Okay.
it's not good.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, I was kind of thinking whenever I saw the show that your company's currently at, I was
hmm
wondering if it's open to the public, if there would be any protesters that come in because I know, a recent hunting show that we were at, of course there was protesters there and it's mostly just people that don't really understand.
Yeah.
Do those I assume those shows must see some sort of protests or is it typically well received?
I think this one in Greece doesn't get protest, because that
Good.
town lives out of fur. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's not really close by a big city. So they don't get any protesters. And recently I was in a fur show in Chicago and there were no protesters
Oh,
either.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
often, yeah, you'll see on TV like massive protests and the red paint throwing and all of that craziness. And I'm just like, oh God, I hope that's not what anyone there
Yeah.
is dealing with now.
No, no.
God,
So
okay.
yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's nice to see. And I think it just comes from like a lack of understanding and education
I agree.
for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Fur is a natural product and especially the synthetics and the fake fur, it's not healthy even to make them and to wear them. It's even worse for the environment than real fur.
I bet. Absolutely. I mean, anything
Mm-hmm.
synthetic. No, for sure. Um, and now I did see on a few notorious, I don't want to call them animal rights groups. It's like PETA and stuff that just kind of flies with false narratives to rage bait people.
Mm-hmm.
That these animals are skinned alive. Do you know where that concept came from? And can you talk about that at all?
Yeah, of course, that is not true. Um, I don't know why they say that. Maybe it's their marketing language, so
Fair.
they try to people they try to have people believe in that, but that's not
Yeah.
true. We have all rules too, and we don't want to skin them alive either. No.
No. And I mean, like, even if you did, I imagine that would be extremely challenging. Like, the animal
Yeah.
would not be tolerating that, obviously.
No. No, that's not what we do.
Yeah. I feel like that's just one of those things where, they know it's going to grab people's emotions. So
Yes.
it's like you said, marketing big time. It's just going to get a viral reaction from people.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay. So what kind of other misconceptions can you think of that have you heard of any other misconceptions that people come at you with for the fur farming or mink farming and harvesting the fur?
Yeah, I thought about this question, but I cannot think about it right now. I think maybe people think that we don't feed them or if they not get fresh water or maybe something like that. But
Yeah.
that's not true. There's a line in the back of the cage. They have fresh water 24/7. Their mom learns or they smell kind of where the water is so they can find the water by itself. And to be able to get a nice quality skin, you need to feed them well. So they have a very good life until they die.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That makes total sense. I mean, obviously, they would have to have good quality nutrition, good quality care. They'd have to be in a clean environment because,
Mm-hmm.
like we mentioned earlier, this is your livelihood. You're not going to want dirty fur or
No.
dull fur because of poor nutrition. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
see it all the time with even the dairy farmers. I mean, people try to say that their cows aren't well taken care of, but they
Mm-hmm.
are. That's their livelihoods. They have to take care of these animals well. They have to
Yes.
respect these animals. No,
Yes.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's fair for sure. No, that's amazing. Before we kind of close off the conversation, is there anything else you wanted to share, anything you wanted to add? And if not, I know a lot of the people that listen and follow are fans of fur. A lot of us are hunters. We like using as much of the animal as possible, so often we will use the fur for sure out of our harvests.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's nothing else to share, where can people find you guys online, on social media, just to check you guys out and give a follow?
Yeah, so we are from the Van Ansem group. We produce mink worldwide to be able in every country. We kind of have different color of animals to make the best skin for the designers. I do advise you, if you can afford it, to wear a mink garment. It keeps you warm. It's biodegradable. And it can go on from generations to generations. And it's a luxury product, but it's also something that people wear back in the day. And I'm very happy to see that fur is still around, especially this last winter. I visit a fashion show in New York where they also advise like young students of the fashion school to work with fur because you can make so many different collections with it in colors and especially in techniques. So I really like when schools promote fur because it's a form of textile too. So it's good that it's getting educated. But especially in New York, Italy, and Paris, people, especially Gen Z people, start wearing fur from their
Oh,
grandmother's closet or from their mom closet. They take it out. So very vintage fur is getting very popular too, which is
good.
good. I'm happy those things are getting reused, and it keeps you warm and it's still in fashion.
100%.
They can also visit our website, unicornfurfarms.com, where you can read more about the mink, how we started. We have a news page. You can follow us where we are active all over the world, kind of. Where you can buy our skins on in the auction houses, and you can see what colors we produce and a little bit of history from our group too.
I love it. I'm going to share all of those links in the podcast description, in the podcast notes, so that people can just click and go. And yeah, after looking at your website and looking at your Instagram page and everything, because that's where I had originally stumbled across you guys, I was thinking that I definitely need to get my hands on a nice coat because I live in Canada, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
cold.
Yep.
I I need I need that warm fur, and the fact that you can pass it down and it lasts forever is nice because synthetic stuff does
Yes.
not last like fur does.
Yes. Exactly. And I just saw on Instagram that today's National Farm Animals Day from the USDA from in America. They posted that today. The
Okay.
USDA. Yeah. National Farm Animals Day.
Well, there we go. That works out really well. That's good timing. Well, thank you so much. That honestly taught me a lot. I know this is going to give some good insight to people that were kind of curious as to what fur farming even was.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much appreciate you taking the time to speak with
Yes.
me and educate everybody
It,
on
it,
fur
it
farming.
this podcast, it's my first time, and in the beginning I was like
Oh, dang.
hesitate, would I give the right information, things like that. But I think we need to be more active so people know what we're doing, and we are just like people like you and I, where we make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's good to like show face and talk about it.
No, I think that's totally fair. Yep.
And
More
we are
exposure.
we are not only mink farmers, let's say. We support the designers and we support the art schools, that because they are the future. We need people that still have that craftsmanship to work with fur.
Yes, that's true. And it's still
Be-
something that's obviously very high in demand. So,
yes, it's a skill you definitely need to learn.
yeah, I bet for sure. Yeah. And I mean, we want good, reputable fur farms like yourself around to
Yes.
provide these people with these resources and this
Yes.
fur.